Hi everyone, it's the 28th of May, which is a Monday in 2018, and today's the first day that we're going to be starting the, Upscale, Start Up Your Own Business blog, I don't know, whatever we're going to do, whatever we're going to call it. I have been trying to put something up online for a really long time, but have just been super anxious about putting my face up on the internet and all that sort of stuff. So this is something that I really need to do and something that I really want to be doing. And I just haven't really taken the leap, but now I'm taking the leap. So I'm ready to put some content up on the internet and hopefully can show you guys a little bit about what I do and how we work and hopefully start a business from zero to something, hopefully. We're going to start today with something very, very quick. Basically, what I'm going to be doing, to start with, I got to go and... Ooh, where's my hair? To start with, I'm going to have to go and put some washing out because, I'm a person and I need clean clothes and everything like that. Secondly, I'm going to go down to the shops. I'm going to buy some milk because I need some milk. But then we're going to get straight into doing some stuff and starting the business and everything like that. So we're going to go right from zero. We're going to go right from step one. And hopefully help everybody learn a little, maybe a couple of things. Maybe you probably know a heap of this stuff. Maybe you don't know a heap of this stuff. But I'm hoping that it'll help you guys out. It'll help me out as well, because then I'll actually be accountable for doing stuff. And let's see how we go. I'm excited. All right, guys. So let's do it. All right, so we have just put the washing on. And now we are going for a walk over there somewhere to get down to the shops, which will be really nice. Really excited about that. It's actually so incredibly nice down here, except for that. But we have water, and we've got this big thing that we're walking across. I thought it looked nice, and now I just don't think it looks nice at all. It looks like absolute trash. There's just trash everywhere and mud. But it's nice. It's really nice. So the big thing that I wanted to have a quick chat about today is just to do with actually doing stuff. So it takes a long time sometimes for people to decide if they're actually going to be doing things or not. And especially for me, the biggest issue was actually putting something out. If you know what I mean? The biggest thing for me has been, oh man, do people want to look at this? Is this something that people would want to see? And so it took me a really long time to actually decide, yes, I'm going to put something out on the internet and start doing all this stuff. And it's very much exactly the same when you start a business. Because when you start a business, you have to go, oh, do I do this? Do I do that? Do I make an Etsy? Do I make Shopify? Do I make a website? Do I need a website? What do I do? Are people going to pay me for these things? And it becomes very, very hardcore to sort of decide right there on a whim, am I going to start and what am I going to start? And so I think the biggest lesson that I've learnt and the biggest thing that I want to tell everyone, fuck this hair, man. The biggest thing that I want to tell everybody is to just start. Just starting is probably the best thing that you can do. Because right now, obviously, you can see that this is a video that I'm filming on a phone while I'm walking. And I tell you what, it feels really weird talking to myself while walking down the road. I'm hoping that I don't run into any people, because they'll give me strange looks. But if you just start, then you'll never have to guess. You'll never have to regret not starting. And you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do everything amazingly. You just have to do something. So the biggest thing, especially in business, is MVP, which is minimum viable product. And that means what's the minimal viable amount of product that you can put out into the marketplace. So what's the smallest thing of what you do that can be seen as valuable, that you can package up and you can put out into the marketplace, at the very least, just to get feedback from your audience, just to get feedback from, who's going to be actually buying the product. Even if you put it out for free, You know, because at that point, you'll be able to get some feedback on it, and you'll be able to figure out if this is what you really want to be doing or not. And I suppose that's what this is right here for me, because this is the first one of these that I'm doing, and it's a bit weird. But if people like it, then we'll keep doing it. If people don't like it, then we'll change it. But it's really important that I put it out, because as soon as I put it out, that's when I get the feedback. So I'm going to post this everywhere. I'm going to be obnoxious with it. I'm going to be doing one of these every single day as well, which I think is pretty hardcore. But I've got a goal, and that is that in 12 months' time, I have 365 of these videos. And then once I have 365 of these videos, tell you what, by then I'll probably figure out if this is something I want to do or not. Alrighty, team. So we got the groceries. Here we are. Bit of milk. Got a bit of mince for some pasta. Got some shapes to snack on. Bit of chocolate milk because, well, to be honest, it's like my one and only weakness is chocolate milk. I love the stuff, but I'm really annoyed because here in Sydney, they don't do, I think it's Pura Classic chocolate milk, which is my favourite brand and tastes the best, but they don't do it in Sydney. So I'm just going to have to leave, I guess. Fuck this place, man. Alright guys, I've made it home. I tell you what, I am not used to the Sydney weather at all. It is terrible. It is like sweaty, but you're cold at the same time, and it's just not that nice at all. So anyway, we got home, we got the stuff in the fridge, see? We got some milk, we got some mince. So I've got like pasta sauce, but it's like frozen itself. So I'm gonna leave that to defrost in the sink for a bit, I think. Now, this is where it is, you know, hardcore entrepreneurial life. We gotta go take the washing out. So I'm gonna go do that, and then we will get into doing some work. Alright. Okay, you can see my big wall of Fanta there behind me. I am very unhealthy. But I have kind of cleaned the desk up a little bit, so this is what the desk looks like now. Nice and... Well, I didn't really clean the desk, I just moved everything over there, but that's alright. We're gonna start with this. So now is the start. This is, what is this? Episode 1 of How to Start Your Startup Business. Okay, so get my hair all out of the way. Brilliant. We are starting a startup. How to build a business 101. Here we go. It's very exciting stuff. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting with some of your strengths and some of your weaknesses and trying to figure out what we could possibly do. Okay, so what I want you to do is just take a second, write down on pad of paper, something like this, where you write down some of your strengths, write down some of your weaknesses, and try and figure out what it is that you want to be doing with your time. Okay? This is basically to teach you how to monetize your passion and your projects. And the reason that I say that is because for me, honestly, I would not spend a single minute doing anything that I don't want to do in life because I just get bored and I would hate it. And I don't like the idea of hating my life, to be perfectly honest, because if I hated my life, why would I even bloody be around? You know, so at the end of the day, I know people need to work to make money and pay bills and you've got commitments and those sorts of things. But if you don't do something that you enjoy, you're going to have a bad time. That's just what it comes down to. You're going to have a terrible time if you don't do something you enjoy. So I want you to write down 5 strengths and 5 weaknesses. Okay, you can take a second, pause the video, whatever you want to do. Write down 5 strengths, 5 weaknesses, and then come back to me and we're going to work through them. Okay, so what I've got here is I've written down a list of... Right now, I've got 4 strengths. I can't even figure out 5 things that I'm really good at. So I've got 4, and I'm going to work through those really quickly. So just to start with, I've got sales. So I'm good at sales. That's a thing that I'm good at. I've always been good at talking to people. I'm always good at customer service stuff, everything to do with that space. The second thing is music. I feel like I'm pretty good at music. Both my parents are music teachers. They've been in music for a really long time. I grew up around music. Music's in my blood. I sing and I play ukulele and do all of that stuff. Got another channel. You can go take a look at that if you really want. I am good at computers. I love computers. Computers is something that's really interesting to me. Everything to do with IT, everything to do with tech. Programming, I did a course in digital media technologies where I learned how to code websites and build programs, a little bit of digital design and that sort of stuff. And that's always been something that really interests me as well. I love that building stuff. I love being able to create something that doesn't exist, like the personalized creation of something. And the last one that I've written down is video games. I love video games. Video games is something I really enjoy, and I like relaxing, I like to be a relaxed person. So a lot of the time you'll probably see that I just kind of chill out, and it might not look like I'm doing a heap, but like really I'm doing a heap. I just love to be chilled when I do it. So those are the things that I do. That's how I am. That's who I am. That's exactly how we work. So what we're going to be doing is building a company based around sales. The reason why is because honestly, I think it's the easiest one to start up. The second reason why is because it's a huge passion of mine to help people realize their passions and motivate and inspire them to monetize their own businesses. So working in sales is something that's going to help me do that, because I can teach them about sales. I can teach them about how to monetize their products. So say, for example, you really like to build spaceships, right? You like to build spaceship models. Let me teach you how to monetize that so that you can just build spaceship models. That's your whole life and your whole job. You have a great time, or maybe you're an artist and you like to paint. Let's learn how to monetize that, So at the end of the day, I really want to teach people how to monetize their passions. All right. So I'm going to work in sales because sales, I'm driven to work in sales. I love sales. I love speaking about sales and customer service. And that's really where it all comes from. So we're going to do that. Sales is going to be the business. Now, the next step that you need to figure out, once you've figured out what it is that you want to do, which you don't have to always do. You can pivot, you can change, you can do all of that stuff. But for right now, we're going to focus on this one thing, sales, or whatever it is that you guys want to do. Once you've figured out what it is, then you need to start building an offer or a product that fits a particular place in your market. Okay, so let's quickly talk about what your market is, or your market space, or your target market, or your whatever it is. When you're talking about your target market, you're talking about a group of people who would be interested in the services or products that you provide. For example, if you run a business that sells clothes for dogs, right? Then your target market would be dog owners or people that have dogs. Make sense? Great. So I'm working in sales, and my product is going to be based around helping businesses to create more revenue or create more money. So my target market is businesses that need to make more money. Perfect. Great. So now once you've figured out what your target market is, you need to figure out what the issue that they have in their marketplace is. Now, the issue that I'm looking at here is businesses, especially startups, especially small startups, and especially tech startups, have a big issue with customer service, talking to people, and selling their product. And the reason why is because I've found, and I'm sure most of you people would realize this and understand this, that a lot of people that are really, really good with tech, not so good with people, right? That's not for everyone. Everybody's different and everything like that. But I've noticed that most of the geniuses that I've ever met, anybody who's amazing with technology or amazing with, different types of scientific stuff, generally like to do that. And they don't generally like to talk to people about it because it's very hard to understand that sort of stuff as a person. So unless, you're in the same field and all that sort of stuff, great. I'm sure you get along really, really well. But if you're a general person who has absolutely no idea about anything to do with like cloud technology, or you don't even know what SaaS is, if you're one of those sorts of people, you're not going to have a conversation with these guys because they are on just like a different level sometimes, and that is something that I see as a big problem in the market. So how do I solve this? 1, I teach them about customer service. 2, I train them in sales and customer service. And 3, I teach them how to hire the right people. So that's what I think is really interesting, and that's what I'm working on. Now, from there, I got to look at a couple of different things. How am I going to package this experience? How am I going to teach this experience? What sort of service or products am I going to provide? So there's a couple of different ones that I'm looking at. The first one is just general consulting, right? So as somebody who works in sales and customer service, I've been working in sales and customer service for about 6 years. I've been around Australia building businesses and everything like that. I think consulting is probably a really good option for a lot of businesses. Maybe it's one-on-one consulting, maybe it's me and a team. I'm not too sure. I think I'll figure that out when I get some clients for it, something like that. But basically, looking at people who need that person to come in, hold their hand, and teach them how to push forward with their business. That is a product that I can provide, and that's a service that I can provide, and I'm happy to provide that service. So let's look at that. That's number one. All right. So number one, we'll do consulting. Number two, I'm looking at a workshop. Okay, so a workshop, again, kind of fits into that consulting space, but as a workshop, I can have the leverage of working with several people at the same time, and I can use more general information. Okay, so on my end, it's less research intensive, it's less work intensive, and on the other end, I get to leverage the fact that there are more people there, which means I can bring the price down, which means we can bring more people in, and they can experience what the upscale experience is like, which is really exciting for me. So, moving on, shameless plug out of the way. Moving on, we've got workshops, we've got consulting. The other thing that I want to do is I want to set up a subscription service, which is going to be an accountability service. So the basis of that service is that we are teaching and helping people to realize their passions by helping them to set goals. Okay, so we set goals, we keep them accountable for those goals, and we help them problem solve to fix those problems, right? So the idea is that either we meet once per month or something like that, or we do it over the phone, or, maybe we have a team of people that follow you up and everything like that. I am obnoxiously good at following up. I follow up all day, every day if I have to, because, I don't know, it's just part of being in sales and, worked as a broker and everything like that. It's just part of that experience, is that you sit there and you follow up 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 and you follow up, you follow up, right? Now, that's something that's interesting to me. So the three programs that I have, I've got my consulting, I've got my workshops, and I've got my accountability club. So we're going to work on all of those. And over the next couple of days and over the next couple of weeks, hopefully not longer than that, we're going to develop those and we're going to build them out into actual products. Okay. The next step that we need to do is we need to find clients. So we need to find people in our target market that would be interested in trying our service, using our service, and hopefully pay our rent and, pay our bills, and hopefully build and grow a successful company. So then it comes into the target market section of your business. So depending on who you are and what you do, you need to figure out where your target market is and what your target market is. So for example, if you ran a company that, I don't know, sells like dog clothes or something like that, your target market would be dog owners. People that like dogs, people that would buy those particular items for their dogs. If you are working in a consultancy, if you are a consultant, then it's whoever needs the help that you provide. So for example, if you're a software consultant or a software designer, then you're probably looking for businesses or individuals that need help learning about the sort of software that you can provide. Okay, so if that's a CRM system, or if it's a different kind of service, if it's an event marketing service, if it's like Facebook ads, that's a service. That's people can consult in that, and all sorts of stuff. If you run a company that does consulting for nutrition, then you need to find people who are interested in nutrition and learning about nutrition, and then you can consult for them, so you can educate them on what you know about nutrition and how it's going to help them. So there's lots of different ways that you can go about this, but basically you need to find where your target market is. Okay, the next step from there is to get around your target market. Okay, this is a really big step that a lot of people forget. They want to get into their business and they just sit there and do, whatever they want to do. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about what your market thinks about you and what your market feels about your products. Okay, and I say feels because a decision to buy something is genuinely emotional, and then after that is justified by logic. And everybody knows that if you're in sales, you know that the intent to buy is emotional, and then they justify that they bought it through logic. And if they can't, then they have buyer's remorse and they come back and they try to figure it out. And that's when you have to retain them as customers. So what we're going to do, this is what I want you guys to do. This is what I'm going to do as well. we need to find where our target market is. So the very first thing that I can think of is, what are other business consultants or what are other sales consultants doing, and how do they get their customers, and where do their customers come from? So this is where we get into the market research portion of building your business. So if, say, for example, you ran a jewelry store or you wanted to sell handmade jewelry or something like that, probably the best thing that you can do right now is find other people who sell jewelry, who sell handcrafted jewelry at handcrafted jewelry stores, right? So either you can go into the city, you can find some jewelry stores. It's probably not the best idea because you'll probably only find the employees, not the actual owners. Or you could go to conventions or events or anything like that. They might have stalls with, little jewelry stuff. Like, I'm sure if you've been to a little fair, maybe in the country or even in Adelaide or Sydney or wherever it is, I'm sure you'll be able to find one stall that sells some handmade products. Now, when you do that, I tell you what, honestly, most of the time they're probably not big businesses, so they probably don't have employees, and the owner of the business is the one behind the stall. Okay, so when it comes to that, it's really, really important that you build a relationship with that person and you learn about the market and you learn about what they do, what works, what doesn't work. One, it could teach you about things to avoid. Two, it could help you with a mentorship, which is really interesting. I love having mentors because they're just people that are, 1 or 2 steps ahead of where you are, and they can help you get to the step that they're on. Okay, and that's really interesting. And if you ever get to a step above them, I'm sure you can do the same for them. You can help them get up to that step as well, and you just bounce off of each other like that. It's really, really exciting. So, something to think about at least. I would be doing that. One thing that I'm doing is I'm organizing a couple of different meetings with some marketing people, with some sales people, with consultants, as well as networking events, because a massive thing is going to be working in networking events and figuring out where we go from there. So as of tomorrow, I actually have a couple of different places I've got to go. I've got a business masterclass, which I found on Eventbrite. It was a free event that I just found on this event platform, and it said, if you're a business person or if you're a consultant and you're looking to build your business, come along to this event. The reason I'm going is because, guess what? My target market is going to be there. Those are the people that I'm going to be around. So 1, I can start endorsing myself. 2, I can start selling my own products. And 3, I can learn if this is something that the customer needs, or if it's something that the market really needs, or if it's already been provided. Because at the end of the day, if I'm wrong, like for example, if I go out there and I try to sell a product where I'm teaching businesses how to sell, but all the businesses are selling properly and they have a great time and they all know customer service, then either I'm in the wrong place, right? Or I have the wrong product. And that's, when it comes down to it, that's really what it is right at the very end of the day, is does your product fix a problem, and is the problem big enough? So that's what we're going to be doing. So I've got a masterclass that I'm attending. I've got a couple of meetings as well, which I'm really excited about. I have a meeting with a marketing guy, which will be really cool. And also, he happens to have a space that might be available so we can run these workshops out of. So it's really interesting when you start to network with people, when you start to build those relationships, you can find that some people might have different things that you need. The easiest way to find what you need is to ask. I know sometimes it's hard. I know it's really exhausting to ask people for things, but just ask. Put it out there into the universe, and the universe will provide it. Everybody, my phone went flat at the end of that, but you know what? That's enough for today anyway. So I hope that you got a bit of value out of this. I hope this is something that's really interesting for you. It's really interesting for me. I'm really excited about seeing how this vlog goes. I'm going to put it up on the website. I'm going to put it up on YouTube. And I'm going to chuck it in some of them Facebook groups that I'm part of. And basically, look, feedback is the most important thing that I need right now. Because then you guys can tell me if this is something that you like, something you don't like, if it's interesting, if it's not. You can let me know, and you can ask me some questions, and hopefully together we can problem solve and we can figure out what it is that you guys need, and I can provide some of that content for you. So look, if there's something that you need from me, please let me know. Please reach out. I'm very excited to work with a lot of you, or all of you. That'll be really great. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully it's not too long. I really hope it's not too long. I'll probably edit it down and figure out what happens from there, but I really hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. Cool. Bye.